Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my friend GerCollector's Unbelievable Garage, where today we're in store for some supercar madness. It is going to get crazy. Now recently I brought out my Senna, which has been visiting, parked alongside the GerCollection Senna as well. The two cars looking epic side by side, and thankfully, despite what this sign says back there, McLaren P1 parking only, all others will be towed, they have not done so. The car has remained in place while their P1 is out and about at the moment. But like I said, today's going to get pretty wild. So let me tell you what we've got in store involving this, the Rosso Bia Lamborghini Aventador SV Roadster, which has now been fitted with a Frequency Intelligent exhaust. And not even just any FI exhaust, this car has their full Volcano Flametador setup, and I'm going to be taking it out for a drive, joined as well by GerCollector in the Senna, plus we've got something else to show you in the bonnet, which involves where we're going to see the GerCollection F40. There's a lot happening, it's going to get crazy, this is going to sound bonkers, so let's enjoy a cold start, take it on out, and I'll get behind the wheel to experience what it's like. The lineup of cars in here is looking as impressive as ever. A garage filled with limited editions, supercars, hypercars, some race cars, there's a tractor down at the very far end, plus we've got some bikes, and one of the loudest cars that I have ever filmed in the form of this Porsche 911 GT3 RS. But I think the crown for the noisiest car in this entire collection is about to be stolen by the SV Roadster thanks to the FI exhaust. Now the Aventador SV is a rare car to begin with, and there are two of them, as you might have noticed, side by side here in the GerCollection. We've filmed before with the orange car, but today is all about this one, the Rosso Bia example. It's a fantastic spec, the red paintwork with the black wheels, we've got the yellow accents for the calipers, the SV logo and some of the details inside, and crucially, we now have the FI exhaust. This is actually the valve controller. We'll experience it, valves opened and closed later on. Now I did think about taking the roof off, but there is actually a reason I cannot, which I will share with you in just a second. For the moment, let's come and have a quick look at this. The Volcano Flametador exhaust system with those gigantic 4-round exhaust tips. These are forged carbon with the engraving on the top, and I guarantee this is going to sound ridiculous in a moment, thanks in part to the 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12. Now these roof panels are actually carbon fibre. They're the Targa panels, which normally you would take off and stow away in the bonnet, but there's actually a reason we can't do that. Let me show you what we've got in the bonnet at the moment, just to release that down there. Come round and take a look at this. Probably something you've never seen in the storage area of a Lamborghini before, but in here we have an exhaust system for the Ferrari F40, and not even just any exhaust system. This is the Tubi F40 LM Competizione Incanal exhaust that is going on the F40, which we're heading over to see. So we are taking the SV Roadster and the GerCollector Senna to go see the GerCollector F40, which is getting a new exhaust as well, plus some other unique upgrades to an F40. And meanwhile, I'm going to enjoy the sounds of this thanks to its FI exhaust, which to me sounds like a pretty crazy day out. I'm quite looking forward to. So prepare your ears. I think this is going to get loud. We'll have a cold start in the garage. We'll take it out, up the lift, out onto the roads, maybe have a blast on some Autobahn stretches. On the way over to the F40, let's do it. If there was ever a time to stand quite far back for the startup of a car, it is probably right now. Let's have a little listen from a car's distance to the startup of the SV Roadster with the FI exhaust. Okay, that made me jump. Somehow I nearly forgot that we are also taking the GerCollector Senna out. For some reason at the moment, my Senna seems to have become an honorary member of the Ger collection, but we're going to hear this starting up, so let's have a little listen. And in comparison, that's a little bit quiet. Actually, that makes me a bit sad. The Senna is quite so quiet in comparison. Oh well, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. The car comes out. Looks cool though, looks very cool. The wing does its thing. Right, back up we go. Let's get set. We'll go. I had not forgotten how uncomfortable the seats are in this. And that's with valves closed, by the way. You have to press the button just quickly to open them. There we go. That got massively louder. We've got the fob just here for that. Yeah, the seats are brutally firm. Full carbon door cards with the grab pulls. What? That's mental. And here, what else do we have? Driving modes and things. We can play around, manual. We'll learn this as we go. Well, it's a beautiful day and we're heading out onto the Autobahn. We've actually got the rear window of the car open. You have a button for that down here. So you can do that independently if you want. Valves are open, first gear. And I'm just going to point out this is Strada mode. Here you can go Sport and then Corsa. You want full effect. McLaren Senna, just over my shoulder. Two ridiculous cars together. When it comes to sound, they're on very different leagues. We're back onto de-restricted Autobahn, but it is pretty busy today. Madness. In fact, given how sunny it is, I'm not quite sure why I'm not wearing my sunglasses. Oh, that was a fireball. I'm sure you heard it. The lift off, it goes off behind. And of course you can do the valve control and make it a little bit quieter on that front as well. But I think we probably want noise, so we'll have that open. Guess we're coming off there as well. Downshifts. And I can tell you, having both of these cars out, we have had plenty of people with their camera phones very much in action. We're arriving at our destination. The Senna looks mad. This thing sounds mad. I'm gonna have a bit of a parking challenge because it's not the easiest thing, but we've come to Scuderia GT just here, which is where the F40 is going to be present for us to go and take a look at, which is pretty neat. Okay, neutral, close the window. There we go. Handbrake in here, there, and some quietness for a moment. I have a little confession about driving in the SV, something that we needed to do last moment before we left. Come and have a quick look at what we've done, and that's quite amusing. Take a quick read of what we've got there. Right, open this up. Inside, we grabbed some pillows, which made it so much more comfortable. Actually transformed the seats with little cushions behind you. They made them actually usable. Nice floor mats as well, one of 500 of these. But what we need to do is get the exhaust out, because after all, this was the courier for the F40's exhaust system. So we will take this in and go check out the F40 and how it's coming along inside. Come and take a look at this then. Not exactly a familiar sight, quite unusual to see an F40 like this, but the GerCollector Ferrari F40 is going through a restoration, having some parts reconditioned. As such, the engine has been removed. We'll take a look at that and some of the components in a second, and it's also getting a number of other upgrades. But as we're looking at it like this, you can see the steel chassis, the frame, supported inside, this is quite cool, by the carbon Kevlar, the precursor to carbon fibre tubs as we see them now for the monocoque. The F40 was always very stripped out, very sparse in terms of the interior, and you can see that, lightweight being the name of the game, supported by the twin turbocharged V8. And obviously back here we have these gigantic 335 wide rear tyres. If we come and take a look at some of this though, twin turbo V8 going through the restoration, including some of the components, for example, like the turbos. Now these have actually gone back to IHI in Maranello in Italy, the original supplier of the turbos back in the late 80s, to be reconditioned and brought back to life. We've got the 2B exhaust system that we've brought in, and it's also getting some new brakes from Carbo. This is going to be the first F40 that will have carbon ceramic brakes. Those are going to be arriving and being installed on it, and I guess we'll see them at a visit in the future. But this has quite a lot of work to be done. It's just not particularly normal to be able to see it so up close like this and to learn a little bit more about it and see some of the parts and the work that's going into it here at Scuderia GT. And we're back in the car, which means another very noisy startup. Back into life it goes, and of course we have to do the valve. Senna into life as well, almost can't hear it. It is boiling hot today. This is stupid. It's actually loudest in sport rather than Corsa between the different modes. So Senna heads on out, and then we will go and follow. We've got a little bit of a tunnel. We actually just had a quick stop for lunch, but we're going back through this tunnel, so I want to try something. This thing sounds mental. Obviously it's a single clutch. That's what I was trying to get to happen in the tunnel, those crackles. The lift off, bang, 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 bang that you get going on. But I think it probably needs to get a little bit warmer to make that happen in full crazy mode. So we are now following the Senna back out onto the Autobahn. Snaps. Look at that thing though, look at it. Let's look at the Senna. And you guys, as car lovers, this is what we're about. It's silly, but so much fun. When you get back to the de-restricted, drop some gears. Oh, that's a little bit silly. Just a little bit silly. Wow, the Senna is fast. That's when you realise quite how fast it is. I mean, this is a fast car. We have 750 horsepower, but the Senna was gone. Absolutely gone. 800 horsepower, but much less weight. Listen to some of these downshifts. Bubbles as well. You might be wondering why I'm wearing a helmet and joined by our friend from BMW Motorsport. Well, we've turned off some lights, the car is parked up here, and he's going to brave it. He's going to come and stand kind of beside the car because his hearing doesn't matter quite so much. But mine, oh, he says, I've got to make sure he balances. There we go. But mine kind of does. So I'm wearing a helmet and I'm probably shouting because obviously I can't hear so much. To protect my ears, as we have some flame-throwing revs out of this thing. Well, that bit's okay. Start-up's not too bad. I hope this goes ready. That, even with a helmet on, covering ears, yes, this is my best attempt to be independent. That's painfully loud. Wow. What we learned here is that was really loud. This guy handled it better than I did. I've taken the helmet off. Obviously you can hear the siren, which is to do with the emissions of the car. That will just need some ventilation for a moment. Yes, that's really loud. There is some slight relief to the ears. The car is parked up and now switched off, but the revs from that inside the garage reverberating around, that was quite intense, quite at the extreme end of the spectrum. This exhaust, and if you're wondering why it's called the Volcano Flametador exhaust from FI, well, I think you've just seen spitting fireballs on demand, and my word, does it make a lot of them. The sound and drama of it, I think, makes it very much an event, a special occasion type car as opposed to a daily machine. You do have the valve control, but even with the valves closed, if you're still putting it under full load, it sounds exactly as you've heard, which at 300 kilometers an hour being revved completely out is insanely loud, as it is also in the tunnels. That has been quite an interesting experience. So a pretty cool day of supercar madness. As I said, the FI exhaust on the SV Roadster, taking the Senna out as well. Epic to see that on the move on the Autobahns, as we went over to Scuderia GT to see the work that's being done also on the F40. The links to GerCollector are down below, to his YouTube channel and also Instagram pages. If you aren't already following, do go and check out to see more of all of the cars around here in this fantastic collection and garage. For today though, I need to go and take a chill somewhere really quiet to let my ears relax after the monstrous sounds that this thing makes. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate your support as always. That is it for this time, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.